Aloha everybody, and welcome to part 5 of Sonic the Hedgehog 4, Episode 2. And hey look, we got ourselves a new zone! After you clear Sylvania Castle, White Park, and Oil Desert, you unlock the 4th zone, Sky Fortress, and unlike the previous 3 zones we just played, Sky Fortress is pretty blatantly taken from one of the older Genesis games. This place is going to look awfully familiar. What country did Eggman just bomb right now? Those missiles with his face on them, they must have went somewhere. They must have landed on something. What did you blow up, Eggman? What did you blow up? Oh, God. Either way, folks, welcome to Act 1 of Sky Fortress, and doesn't this place look awfully familiar? Yeah, if you played Sonic the Hedgehog 2, I'm sure you're familiar with the Sky Chase level, where you're on top of the tornado, and Tails is flying you around, and you have to jump into all these turtle badniks, all these bubbles, and you have to soar through the sky in an auto-scroller level. So that's fun. In single player, you don't have to worry about the tornado at all. It will always be underneath wherever you are, so if you move right, the plane will go right as well. If you do an air dash or a homing attack and you go super far ahead of where you were, the plane will automatically be underneath Sonic. You can spin dash on the plane and you'll be perfectly fine. This does not apply to co-op mode, however, because, once again, this is a co-op game. The second player can be Tails, and the second player will be in charge of the tornado, while the first player will be Sonic, who, if he decides to air dash or hop to the right and the second player doesn't know where Sonic is going, he'll fall into the bottomless pit, he will die, and you'll have to go all the way back to a previous checkpoint. Yeah, this is kind of an awkward level to play in co-op, I'm not gonna lie. It's really awkward. And I remember the first week when this game came out, when this game was super new. Me and my friends didn't really know that there was a button to send the two characters back together, you know? Because if you push square or X, like if Sonic's about to fall into a bottomless pit and then you push the same button that you would the Tails Copter combo or the rolling combo, Sonic can immediately go right to the wing of the plane. He can immediately go right to the wing of the plane, even if he's underneath it, even if he's about to fall to his death, because they add this little safeguard for the co-op feature. It would be such a hassle without it, and it was a hassle without it, because I remember the first week, me and my friends didn't know it existed, and the boss fight at the end, which is a plane level, this particular act, the Sonic player had to basically do nothing, otherwise he would fly off the plane like I just did there, and go to his death all the time, and it was really, really awkward to play, but yeah. Now we're in a speed section. I'm going to go above the Trail of Rings. Red ring, booyah! In the speed sections, Sonic can't do anything. He's just holding onto the wing for dear life. Tails has to move the tornado into the Trail of Rings, he has to watch out for the walls, and every time he comes up to some Eggman crates, he has to use his spin attack in order to burst right through them. So it's the same button as the Copter Combo, Rolling Combo button. You just push X or square to immediately spin and destroy whatever boxes are in front of you. You can actually activate it here as well, but if Sonic isn't on the wing of the plane, if he's on, like, say, the back of the plane or just the middle of the plane, then you can't activate the spin attack. Sonic has to be able to hold on in order to do the spin attack. For the most part, you just have to follow the Trail of Rings and you'll be fine, but it's a little trial and error, and if you get hung up on a wall, for some reason you die. It doesn't seem like anything is chasing Sonic, but if you get hung up on a wall or boxes and then you go off screen, that counts as a death and you'll have to go back to a previous checkpoint. And this section right here, in single player and co-op, Sonic is on his own. He has to homing attack those turtles in order to get over the giant bottomless pit. And it's so easy for those turtles to shoot an energy ball that will knock Sonic back and make him fall into the bottomless pit. So, That's a little bit of a tricky platforming segment. And again, this level goes on a little too long, if you ask me. You know, it's an auto-scroller. It's kind of like Sky Chase from Sonic 2, except for the fact that Sky Chase would have been over by now. It was a short level. There was only one Sky Chase act, and then you moved on to Wing Fortress, and everything was hunky-dory. But this level is like 5, 6, 7 minutes long, even when you know what you're doing, even when you haven't died and gone back to a previous checkpoint. But if you're constantly dying on this level because you didn't know about the co-op features, or because you just have trouble with the platforming when Sonic's on his own or whatever, this level goes on way too long and it overstays its welcome. One way to speed up this level as well is to defeat Metal Sonic. The first time I played this, I just thought I had to dodge all of the projectiles he was sending at me. I didn't know I could actually jump into the cannonball to knock it back into Metal Sonic. If you don't attack Metal Sonic at all, eventually he will fly away and the stage will end. But if you want to end the stage faster, keep hitting the cannonballs back to Metal Sonic, and eventually the airship will be destroyed, and then he'll fall and the level will end. But, yeah. I didn't know you could bang into the cannonball my first playthrough. I mean, it's obviously different from the electric sparks and stuff, but I don't know, something about it was like, oh, he's shooting something at me. My first instinct is to dodge whatever he's shooting at me. Good God, But no, you bounce them back into Metal Sonic, who's got a fancy airship, if I do say so myself. It's got kind of a weird fish design, which reminds me of Sonic Heroes, and, well, Metal Sonic was the main villain in Sonic Heroes. All of those airships kind of looked like fish. And if you've ever seen his vehicles in the Sonic All-Stars racing games, Metal Sonic certainly has a weird fish motif. He certainly has a type of airship, you know? He certainly has a type. Either way, folks, welcome to Sky Fortress Act 2, and this place pretty much looks exactly like Wing Fortress did. See, we were doing so good. I mean, some people could argue that Sylvania Castle's just Aquatic Ruin and Marble Garden Zone. Yeah, but it's not blatantly Aquatic Ruin. It's not blatantly Marble Garden. It was kind of different. It was kind of fresh. Even the boss fight. They teased the Aquatic Ruin boss, but then they did something new and interesting, right? White Park. It's a winter amusement park area. We don't really have winter amusement parks in Sonic. Oil Desert. That's pretty new for Sonic. We don't go to a desert oil refinery all the time, but then at the end they're just like, we'll just do Wing Fortress again. Have the same badniks, the cluckers, and all that stuff, and it's just like, Back to the Sonic 2 rehashes, Sonic 4. Although, I'll be honest, Sky Fortress is actually a pretty damn good zone. I really like the speed and flow of these levels. It's just Act 1 that ruins the whole zone for me. If Act 1 was a lot better, if it wasn't just a Sky Chase clone that went on too long, Sky Fortress might be my favorite zone in the whole entire game. I love Act 2, and I love Act 3, and the boss fight is my second favorite, behind, you know, the White Park Metal Sonic fight. So, pretty good zone for the most part, and, got some pretty decent music as well. I don't know if I've commented on the music in Sonic 4 Episode 2. It took a while for it to grow on me. I remember the first week I played this, I didn't think much of the soundtrack, but I did go back to play Sonic 4 every now and then, whenever I was bored. It's a digital purchase, it's on my Xbox Marketplace games list. Every now and then I'd see it and be like, I'll play Sonic 4 again, why not? And, you just replay these levels and then the music starts getting to you, and you're like, yeah, I do like the White Park music. I do like the Sky Fortress music. This is all starting to grow on me. I like it. It's familiar to me. I enjoy it. So, I kind of like the soundtrack. Oil Desert has some weird tracks. I know a lot of people think that Oil Desert Act 2 sounds like a whole bunch of ducks quacking. Quack 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 quack. Thank you. I'll be here all night with my duck orchestra. The boosters, the flame boosters, will damage you in this level, unlike the original Wing Fortress, where they were just in the background and you could jump in front of them, no problem. So you gotta watch out for the flame boosters in this stage. Gotta watch out, folks. Watch out. With these wall running segments, all you're really doing is holding right and then pushing up and down to follow the trail of rings, or to jump off whenever you want, so I can get this red ring. Booyah! There are platforms underneath in case you screw up and hit a wall, so don't worry. I mean, there are bottomless pits down here too, but, you know, the Tails Copter combo can save you in a pinch if you happen to notice it, fall past it. You know, just activate the Copter combo, then you'll be safe and you'll be good as gold. Done like dinner. I don't think I've said done like dinner in a long, long time. Whatevs, whatevs. Sky Fortress Act 3, the hardest platforming stage in the game, and my personal favorite platforming stage in the game, honestly. Right off the bat, you can fly all the way to the top, and there's an extra life right there. Booyah! Sonic spins a lot when he jumps from a giant height. Jesus. How does Sonic not get sick? How does he not throw up? Every time he makes a jump, he's constantly spinning in this many circles. Good God. And then he goes into these contraptions and he's spinning even more. I mean, my God, Sonic, how can you handle... And the loop-de-loops! How can you handle this, Sonic? How can your body handle this? I have the worst motion sickness in the world. I can barely handle strawberry teacups when I'm at the amusement park, okay? I mean, you sit in them, and then they spin around, and then they spin around while they're spinning around, and then I'm just wrecked for the entire night because of those strawberry teacups, okay? Anytime me and my friends are at the amusement park, they're like, let's go to the strawberry teacups. And I'm just like, no, I don't want to go to the strawberry teacups. I'm going to throw up. I'm going to feel like shit the entire night. It's the worst. And I don't like riding on airplanes either, you know? My body sucks, is basically what I'm trying to say. My body sucks, ladies and gentlemen. I hate my body. Oh my God. But enough about me. So Sky Fortress is kind of interesting, where you have to homing attack these contraptions in order to get these ring pathways so you can transport to where you need to go. Tails cannot homing attack, therefore Tails cannot actually open these things up and go inside them. So if the Sonic player in a co-op game doesn't homing attack them, then you're not going anywhere. You can't just jump into them, you have to homing attack them. So, I remember I tried playing this in kind of co-op. I had two controllers and I tried playing through the entire stage as Tails only, because that's the only way you can do it. There's no way from single player to just have a Tails only mode, where like, you know, I want to play a single player game as Tails. Can't do it. You have to be Sonic in single player. So I did a fun experiment thing where I was trying to get the achievement where you play as Tails a whole bunch of times. And I played local multiplayer by myself. I know, I'm sad. As just Tails, just to see how the journey would go. And it's this level that was such a big dead end for me, because I had to keep activating the second controller. I had to keep releasing Sonic from his bubble that he was floating behind me in, so that he could homing attack all these contraptions. And man, this platforming is rather treacherous. A lot of bottomless pits, a lot of flame boosters that will knock you back and make you fall into the pits. And that's no good. A lot of these blocks that can crush you if you're in between them and a wall. But I like it, you know? As long as you know to do just a certain amount of lifts with the copter combo, and you know, like, to pay attention to the flame boosters patterns, like the way they ignite next to each other and how they ignite later. Like, pay attention, don't just rush into this level, you know? I think this level's pretty fantastic. It's one of the best final levels of the game, because the next few levels we'll be seeing in Part 6 don't really feel like levels at all, but not really. Again, you know, people say Sonic 4 are bad games, Episode 1 and Episode 2, and I'm just like, nah! I like this platforming, I like these levels, I don't know what to tell you. I find this incredibly fun and satisfying, so call me crazy, but I like Sky Fortress. I like White Park. I like Sylvania Castle. What's to hate so much about this game, man? I don't get it. And what's to hate about that glorious Metal Sonic boss theme? Because, folks, we're taking on Metal Sonic again, and it's a plane level, which is kind of annoying in co-op, but here's how it works. You've spent a long, long time, 50 seconds, getting to the first part of this boss fight. Every time you die, you have to relive those 50 seconds, and oh my god, co-op nightmares right there. But, anywho, you have to dodge the lasers, and you have to get front to where Metal Sonic is, and then you have to jump into him in order to damage him. Now, there is actually a quick way to damage Metal Sonic before the pattern. When he starts flying into frame, he actually shows up right at the top right really quickly before he actually activates the lasers. So you can actually get a free hit on him if you're hanging in the top right corner, and then you decide to jump into him as he passes by. So I'm going to do it right now. Metal Sonic tilts upside down. Here he comes into screen. Boom! I hit him! That's an early hit you can do, but you still have to dodge the lasers and stuff afterwards. You can spin dash, but you'll have to be like real close to the left because the plane is constantly being pushed back. It's not like Sky Fortress Act 1 where like you can move wherever you want at your speed. You're constantly moving, I guess, in this boss fight, so that there's a force that is pushing the tornado back. And that can make dodging the lasers kind of tricky. But now we're at this point where we have to homing attack Metal Sonic. The laser will not destroy... it will hurt Sonic, but it will not destroy the plane. So if you're in front of the laser and the plane's constantly going... da-da-da-da-da-da, don't worry, it's not actually hurting you. You're perfectly fine. And then we come to the final part, which is a speed section where, again, you use the tornado spin attack in order to damage Metal Sonic. And you have to dodge all of the missiles that are hanging up the above, or the, you know, they're hitting from the below. So watch out for that. Watch out for that. But yeah, that's my second favorite boss fight of the whole game, and they're both Metal Sonic boss fights. The best one and this one, so... Metal Sonic's really fun to fight in this game. He's really fun to fight. Again, this was a co-op nightmare when you didn't know that you could summon the two characters back to back by pushing the combo button, because, oh my god, one misstep, if you hit the lasers the wrong way, if you homing attack Metal Sonic the wrong way, he could fall into the pit, he would die, and then you have to reload a checkpoint and go through 50 seconds of nothingness just for the stupid fight to start up again. Good god. Hui! I kind of love that cutscene. The Sega Genesis-y music, the camera angle, and the cut to the Death Egg as you're approaching it, that seems like a cutscene that would actually be in a Sega Genesis Sonic the Hedgehog title, and it gives me chills, man. It gives me chills. Little Planet has been encased with a Death Egg! Oh my god, how much game is left? 2 levels. We have 2 levels left. Not zones, 2 acts left. We're almost done, but once again, Eggman is the fastest thing alive because he outran Sonic again. Sonic couldn't catch him. He got to an escape pod in time. What the hell, Sonic? What the hell? Either way, folks, the finale of Sonic the Hedgehog 4, Episode 2, coming up in Part 6. See you then.